Vienna is a very amazing city that you should visit. It has royal heritage, high culture, and food. So, before you go, you need to know some tips to make your visit enjoyable. So, my first tip has to do with the palaces. Schönbrunn Palace and Hofburg Palace are very similar on the inside, but they're for different people. Don't visit both. It's gonna all blur together into one gigantic lump. So it's better to visit one of them, not both of them. So Hofburg Palace is for people who want to learn the Habsburg history by seeing their treasury and the Austrian National Library and their tombs. Schönbrunn Palace is for people who want to be a Habsburg, see the more luxurious royal apartments, and see the more luxurious gardens. Yeah, the Volksgarten is amazing, but the Schönbrunn Gardens are not comparable in any way. So my second tip is don't visit all three art galleries in Vienna on the same trip. It's kind of like the Palace tip, but let's put art galleries. Okay, this is the Albertina, which I'll tell you more about later. So it's the art gallery that's part of the very far wing of the Hofburg Palace. Then you have the Kunsthistorisches Museum, which is right like across the street from the Hofburg Palace. And then you have the Belvedere, which is a little bit away from the Hofburg Palace, like a little bit off the Ringstrasse, the ring road of Vienna. So if you're wondering which one you should visit on your trip, let me tell you. So okay, you're gonna be too much arted. It's not like the art is similar. You're just gonna be like, oh my God, what did I see? It's just gonna be too much. So Kunsthistorisches is for art in like the Baroque era and the Renaissance era. There's a huge Italian collection. There's a huge collection of like the Italian Renaissance, the Northern Renaissance, which is Reformation art. Then there's Counter-Reformation art. There's Baroque art. So that's for your old classic art. Then for your classic Vienna art, the Vienna Secession, which is a movement in the end of the 19th century, which rebelled against the traditional methods of art, which you'll see in there is good for the Belvedere. It has an incredible collection of Gustav Klimt and Egon Schiele, two people who were part of the movement. And then you have the Albertina if you want to see Impressionists. So that's my tip. So we have moved on to the food section of this video. How can I talk about travel and not food, of course? So my first tip for your food is do not forget to eat at the cafes. This cafe is the Cafe Sacher, one of the most famous ones behind me. There's also a lot of the most famous ones other than this one are Cafe Demo, Cafe Sperrel, Cafe Mozart. But there's many other smaller ones. But don't forget to eat at the cafes. Plus, if you want to be clearly Viennese and be a cultural chameleon and go back in time, time machine. So you know what you should do? You should get a newspaper. And then these cafes were places where philosophers of Vienna came, like Albert Einstein, who wasn't really a philosopher, but he thought up a lot of his ideas. Sigmund Freud, they all came there to pass their time and do some stuff. And then they had coffee and cakes and then newspapers, and then they had to spend their time. Go back in time, man. Go to the cafes. You have to. While you're at the cafe, my second tip is what you should eat. So first must eat is the Sacher torte. You might wonder, oh, Cafe Sacher, Sacher torte, related? Of course they're related. Franz Sacher was a chef, and then his son served it at the Hotel Sacher, and at that cafe, boom, some coffee and nice Sacher torte. Oh, so what's in this thing? Okay, so you have 2 layers of chocolate. You have a chocolate icing. You have some dough, and then you have And then it's sandwiched in between those two doughs is the apricot jam. So that's what's in it. But my favorite one that you should eat is apple strudel. Apple strudel. This one I took in Salzburg. I ate that. Yeah, I took the picture. After I started eating, it was too good to start. It's basically an apple pie on fila dough with rum raisins too. So let's hope you can see those. That's the rum raisin right there. So those are two must-eats at the Viennese cafe. You should have to eat those before you try other things like Lilliput or Linzer Torte or whatever. So my next tip for the food is don't get the red Mozart Kuchen, which you'll get in Vienna, like the red ones with the picture of Mozart on them. Don't get those. They're not the real deal. So what you should do is get the blue ones like you see behind me. They have the filling. They're the real deal. They're not just chocolate balls. And with the coffee, I will list all of the types that you will be drinking in the description so you don't get bored. So now we're going to start to talk about meal food instead of just sweets. Austria is a meat country, so if you're a vegetarian, there is very little ethnic food that you would like. So here behind me, a Wiener Schnitzel, which is basically breaded veal, or which is a traditional pork occasionally, and then battered and fried, and served with Viennese potato salad and cranberry sauce. Then you have beef goulash, which unlike Hungarian goulash is a stew. So here's a picture of it. So, and then the old Viennese soup you can also eat. So I said that Austria has a lot of meat, and part of that is sausages. So the most famous Austrian sausages is Käsekränne, which you see a picture of behind me, which is basically a pork sausage with cheese oozing out. And there's also another alternative would be Weisswurst, which you can see now, which is a veal sausage which is eaten with sweet mustard. So, as you probably know, Vienna is the capital of classical music, so my next tip goes along with it in the entertainment category. So I'm going to talk about the opera for a bit, and then I'll say some alternatives and some things that you can do to get the opera for free even. So, first and foremost, what are the prices? Well, as you can guess, opera's expensive. So I got the prices already written down, so they are. If you want to sit on the main floor with a good view of the stage, 120 to 200 euros. You can convert that what it is to your currency, and I'm not going to say it because the exchange rates always change. Okay, a balcony view will be 13 to 30 euros. So it's basically like in the balconies have bad views, which is why they're so cheap. Standing room tickets at the very top or very bottom, so you barely see anything, are 3 to 4 euros, and tickets go and the standing room tickets go on sale 80 minutes before showtime, and you line up in the ticket office for the tickets, and then you can. The only way to save your standing spot is with a scarf, no towel, no jacket, no, scarf only. Then you can walk around until the opera begins. Now, if you want a free opera, well, you can go outside the opera, and every night they're projecting the opera that's playing tonight on the projector of the opera. If you want to see past operas, you can go to the City Hall, which has a projector too. They also have a buffet of fusion dishes. There's like a little bit of schnitzel. There's not much Austrian food there. So you have that. And by the way, fun note and a good notice. The opera, voice choir, and philharmonic and Spanish writing school are on vacation July and August, just like everywhere in the world. And so don't expect opera July and August. Or we'll expect the past operas at the City Hall, but otherwise, forget about opera. But don't worry, there's so much more entertainment. For example, you can go to the Kursalon in one of the parks, where Johann Strauss originally performed, and you can, for 40 to 60 euros, for 40 euros, you can watch a Mozart and Strauss concert, which is pretty good. I didn't do it. I had my music experience in Prague, but that will be for another video. And Prague's another musical capital in this region, but that's for another video. So as compact as Vienna is, you need to get around to public transit and use it in order to get to the sites that are farther afield. This is the last section of the video, so you should pay attention. So some sites that you're probably, if you're going to visit Schönbrunn Palace, the wine fields, or anything that's outside the old city, you're going to need to take the trams. So what you need to do is, or the buses or anything, so you need to know how to use them. So first and foremost, don't think that you can just walk on without a ticket just because there are no turnstiles. No, it works on a semi-honest system, meaning you buy the ticket at the machines, and the machines are in the subway stations and in train stations, if you're wondering. They're not in tram stations or bus stations. So, and you buy those tickets at machines and you validate them. Just because you bought the ticket doesn't mean your ticket is valid. So in order to validate the ticket, you can either put it into the machines with those box things with a little hole in them. You put it in the way the arrow says, boom, it stamps it, and you have a valid ticket. Or if you don't want to deal with that and you forget to validate the ticket when you're buying, you should click on validate now. It will default to validate later, validate now, then you'll automatically have a valid ticket. And the time starts running from the time of validation, not the purchase time. So you need to know that. And the way this ticketing system is enforced is anonymous conductors board the trains and the trams and stuff like that and tell you and ask for tickets, and then if you don't have them, or if they're not valid, they will give you enormous fines of 100 euros. So, not good. So, the next thing I want to tell you is, for the love of God, do not take the cat train. Just don't. It's a ripoff. 12 euros for 16 minutes of time versus local trains is 5 euros for 25 minutes of time. It's not worth it. It's just a huge difference. And the worst part about it is that the Cat City Airport train spends so much money on marketing that you'll be basically lured when you get out of the customs hall and get into the arrival hall to take it. So go to the red kiosks, which have the local train, and buy the tickets from there. Plus, you're going to come into the same station, and you're going to have to take another form of public transport to get to your accommodation or your friend's house. Third, it's the same ticket for all the public transport. You don't need to worry about separate tickets, and they do have zones, so check. And children are counted as children if they're under 15, and senior citizens are counted as senior citizens if they're over 62. Children, dogs, and senior citizens get a lower priced discount. So, for example, children and dogs get a 50% off discount, and seniors get a 25% discount. The single ride tickets are €2.20. If you buy them at the stations from the machines that take cash, credit, or coins, and by the way, if you're going to use the credit card, make sure that it has a PIN number, because if you buy the tickets, it will ask you for a PIN number, and if you don't have it, tough luck. You're going to have to pay in cash or use your debit card, which has a PIN number. So, and if you buy it on the trams, which machines only take coins, you're going to buy an increased fare of €2.60 for an adult. They're not good. And they also sell 24, 48, and 72-hour passes. Time starts running from the time of validation, like I said. And a week ticket and a month ticket is not a 30-day ticket or a 7-day ticket. It is a specific week ticket or a specific month ticket. A month ticket, it works in October, not October 10th to November 10th, by the way. Or a week ticket does not work September 13th to September 20th. No, it works the week of September 13th or the week of September 20th, Monday through Sunday, which is the European calendar, unlike the US where it's Sunday through Saturday, is the week. And I'll also put the prices for the tickets down in the descriptions that you know, and so that you have all the deals. Next, you need to know that there are 4 train stations in Vienna that you're going to be using. There's more on the outskirts of town, but in the center of town, there's basically 4. The Hauptbahnhof, the main one, the Bahnhof Medling, where you're going to come in from the airport, which is in the southwest part of town, the Franz Josef Bahnhof, which is in the north part of town, and the Westbahnhof in, well, self-explanatory, the west part of town. So thank you for watching. Hope you liked it. Like, comment, subscribe if you so that you can get more videos like this from traveling the world. And I hope you come to Vienna when the whole COVID situation ends, and then you'll be able to come in and enjoy this awesome city. Bye!